These are some of the best funnels that you can deploy for your AI or marketing agency that will book you a ton of qualified calls in a relatively short period of time. To give you some context, my name is Ray, and in the last 6 years, I've spent an obscene amount of money testing all the different funnels that you can name. I also run a done for you AI based client acquisition agency where we build guaranteed systems for other AI and marketing agencies to get you a ton of qualified calls and a ton of paying customers. So I think I'm pretty qualified to explain my top three funnels that you can also use for your business. So to get into this really, really quickly, the first funnel that I've seen that works very, very well and is naturally the most popular is the VSL funnel, which is what we call a video sales letter. And this is really, really simple. So you have your ad basically, and then you have a landing page. If this will even draw, so landing page. And then from your landing page, you then have a calendar booking page where they can book a direct time in your calendar or your closer's calendar. And then you have the thank you page. Ignore my drawings, by the way. I know it's horrendous. But this is what a VSL funnel looks like. It's fairly straightforward. It's fairly simple. It's naturally the most popular funnel to run because it's the easiest and it's the quickest to get results for. There are some downsides, and I'll explain why in a second. And there's also a much better funnel that you can deploy, which I'll again explain after we go through the top three. This second funnel that I've seen work very, very well is a lead magnet. If I can even write lead magnet properly. These are pretty cool. I've seen these used now more than ever, and it's fairly straightforward. So you have your ad, could be a static or a video. You then have like an opt-in page where you collect things like first name, last name, email, phone number, whatever it is. Usually for something like a free download or whatever it is. And then you have a thank you page. So this funnel is really, really good in generating qualified leads, not necessarily booked calls. So it's great if you want just really high lead volume to then retarget to book a call using email. So again, a really, really popular funnel for more traditional B2B industries. We then have a third funnel, which is what I call, or not I call, but what the industry calls an LTO funnel, which is a low ticket funnel. So this is fairly straightforward. Again, you have your ad, and then you have like an opt-in page on your landing page. You then have a low ticket product, which is usually priced at anywhere between $7 to $27. Whatever it is that you're selling, it has to be something of value, of course, but it's like a low ticket product. And then from your low ticket, you can have different upsells. So usually there are two upsells essentially, where they can choose to just buy more from you. And then once they purchase the upsell, or once they just purchase the first low ticket product, you then take them to some sort of thank you page. So essentially, this low ticket funnel is used to liquidate your advertising cost. And it's also used to build trust as well. So basically, they go from an ad campaign to the landing page, they purchase a product. That in theory liquidates all of your advertising costs. Your cost to acquire a customer is either zero or it's a bit of a profit. And then it's straight to a thank you page where they can either then just decide to book in a call with you later on or just consume your content for now and just become that warm, engaged lead. So these are the three funnels, in my opinion, that work really, really well, no matter what industry or niche that you decide to go with. But there are some pretty big disadvantages now with all three of these funnels that I'm seeing in 2026. And these are the pitfalls that you really want to look out for heavily. So if we start with the VSL funnel, although this is the most popular and it's used by literally everyone, myself included, the downside with this is it requires a lot of ad spend. So if you're thinking about spending 20, 30, 40, $50 a day, a VSL campaign is going to be very, very difficult for you to crack because it just requires so much data. It's not a complicated funnel, but all you're doing is optimizing for a qualified booked call, which is pretty expensive now if you think about how many people are running paid ad campaigns. So unless you're willing to spend, 200, 300, $500 a day on a campaign or on an ad, a VSL campaign is going to take you a very, very, very long time to crack. But also, not to mention, it doesn't necessarily produce the most qualified leads. Now, I know technically what most people do is on the landing page, they have some sort of qualifying form. So they ask a bunch of questions. And then if the prospect is qualified, they then move to the calendar booking page. But that still doesn't necessarily guarantee the prospect is going to end up buying from you, because in between this entire process, there is literally no trust. Like, they see an ad campaign, they go to a landing page, and they probably only book a call just out of curiosity, if we're being really, really honest here. So even if you do get a couple of calls, which you will, it's pretty natural with a decent offer and a good landing page, you're going to book calls. You're probably going to have a very, very hard time closing the prospects because they just don't trust you. They're a complete cold stranger, and they're probably going to price pinch you in every direction possible. And the way I like to look at this is, think back to the last time you ever purchased a high ticket product. It doesn't have to be a service, think just a product in general. When was the last time you saw a product you liked on an ad campaign? You went to their website and purchased. I'm talking 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. It was probably never, right? You probably went to YouTube, you looked at testimonials, reviews. You probably just, decided over a couple of days if you really wanted that particular product. And then when you felt ready and you had enough trust with that brand, you then bought the product. And so why would you expect your potential clients to do the same with you if you won't do the same with yourself? And so that's why I think VSLs now are becoming very, very difficult, because people literally don't trust anyone these days. I actually did a video on the trust recession. If you missed it, it's going to be linked in the description. It basically just goes through why VSL funnels are becoming pretty much obsolete in 2026, unless you have a lot of ad spend and you have, case studies and social proof. VSLs will work wonders for you. You can use it to scale past a couple million a month in revenue easily. But if you're like most AI agencies or marketing agencies and you don't have $500 a day, you don't have stacks and stacks and stacks of social proof, then a VSL funnel is going to be very, very difficult based on a multitude of factors, such as trust. That's a huge thing, or a huge problem with this funnel. The second issue, not the second issue, but a problem with our second funnel, the lead magnet, is it's not really necessarily used to book calls, or it is, but there's a lot more moving parts to it. So it's not as instant as running a VSL and getting a call 3 to 5 days later. You are going to have some sort of nurturing sequence. And generally, lead magnets, if not set up correctly, they'll produce low quality leads essentially. And you don't want that, because you can't really do a huge amount with a low quality prospect. So to make a lead magnet work, you got to make sure that you have the right qualifying conditions between the ad and the opt-in page. So you only give the lead magnet to a qualified prospect. But once they consume the content, you need to make sure that you have proper retargeting. I'm not talking about generic, email scripts and SMS scripts. They have to be valuable based retargeting structures. So this naturally is going to take a lot of time and resources to think through. Plus, there's different automations involved as well. So unless you've got like a full-time high-level guy, this is going to be very, very difficult for you to pull off as well. So that's one pitfall to look out for. Then with our third funnel, the low ticket, you can probably see one of the biggest disadvantages is it is very, very complicated to set up. So again, it's not going to take you a couple of hours like a VSL. You've got to think about all the upsells, the downsells, the automations, the nurturing sequences. With your low ticket product, even, you can't just produce garbage. Like, you can't just give them some sort of chat GPT guide. People see through that immediately. And what you'll end up doing is you'll get people to buy it, but then you'll find out that nobody wants your high ticket offer because your LTO completely sucks. And so you would need to figure out, what do people actually want to see in the low ticket product? How can I make it extremely valuable to the point where people genuinely feel like they need your high ticket offer? That's what you would need to figure out. Plus, of course, just like the lead magnet, you need to have all of your automations. So sequences, nurture flows, that needs to be built out as well. So the time it takes to launch these two funnels is pretty long time unless you know what you're doing, essentially. So these are the downsides of these funnels. It's kind of what everyone is running these days. I have a better funnel that we've tested right now for all of our clients. It's pretty new. It works very, very well. It solves the trust problem. It also solves the unqualified lead problem with the lead magnet. And it also solves the complexity problem with your low ticket funnel. So basically, all of the disadvantages here we solve in our brand new funnel that we created. And I've seen a few people run this recently, but I think it's working extraordinarily well between all of our clients. So to get into the new funnel, it's fairly straightforward. So as usual, you have your ad. That's usually a carousel or some sort of video creative. And then you have your landing page. But on the landing page, you're going to offer a lead magnet. Just bear with me for a second. Now, this isn't going to be just any random lead magnet. You're going to base this on qualifying criteria. So essentially, any funnel you build, you want to prime it so you get leads for your high ticket offer. You do not want to be optimizing for just leads to download your low ticket product or buy your low ticket product. That's not the whole purpose of running this funnel. So before they opt in or before they download whatever lead magnet, free lead magnet you're giving away, you need to make sure that you have qualifying criteria based on your high ticket offer and your high ticket avatar. So for example, let's say you work with roofers and you only want to work with a roofing company that does $1 million a year in revenue. Well, for your lead magnet, the people that would be applicable to download this would be a roofer that's doing $1 million a year in revenue. So you set qualifying criteria so you don't allow every single person to download this that may or may not be qualified for your high ticket offer. So set very simple qualifying criteria. If they pass the qualifying criteria stage, you obviously give them the lead magnet. You can usually do this with Go high level email sequences. It's really, really straightforward. It's very easy to set up. If you guys want a video on how to set that up, let me know in the comments. But basically, they opt in within a couple of minutes, send them the freebie. Don't make them wait an hour, 2 hours, 24 hours. Just don't do that. Send it immediately. But then what you do is after they've filled in their information, you then take them to a calendar booking page. So this calendar booking page is for your high ticket offer. And what you'll find is in between this process, there's usually like a 5 to 15 minute time gap. And that's when people will leave this page. They'll go check out the freebie because you've literally said, we're going to send you a free guide. And they'll probably take maybe 5-10 minutes reading this and just skimming through it. We found that if you've nailed your lead magnet and it really genuinely is valuable and it really hits home, people actually then go back to the core booking page and book a meeting with you directly, right? So sometimes you even do get a couple of qualified calls just by running it this way, adding one extra qualifying step, because you've built that trust. You provided them with something of value. So they already see you as some sort of authority in your specific industry, right? And then obviously, you've got your core booking page, and then you have your thank you page. That's a pretty standard page with next steps. So this funnel we've seen works very, very well. Now, there is a few more steps involved. So what happens if you get an unqualified lead? So let's say someone comes in. Let's stick with roofers, for example. Let's say they're doing $500,000 a year as opposed to $1 million. Do you then disqualify them from the lead magnet? Absolutely not. So what you do is you send them to the lead magnet. You still give them the free opt-in, but you then have another qualifying redirect. It's getting pretty messy now. To an LTO. So a one singular product LTO, no upsells, no downsells, just literally one product. I would price it anywhere between $27 to $47. One LTO that solves an immediate current pain point, right? You can do your homework and do your research to figure out what that LTO is. And then based on whether they purchase that or not, you then send them to the thank you page. You don't want to send them back to the call booking page because if they don't have the revenue or the budget, they're not going to book a call anyway. But here's the cool thing: most of your unqualified leads may end up having the budget in a week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You'll be surprised how many people don't give you the most honest answers on the lead form. And so with an LTO, essentially, you would send them once they purchase, send them to the thank you page, and then you would use your same high level sequences to nurture them. So usually you want that to be nurtured over a 7 to 30 day period. Most people I know spam emails, which I don't think is a good idea. So you want to run your nurturing sequence for 7 to 30 days, specifically for your unqualified leads. And eventually what you'll find is once you build that trust again between your prospects, miraculously in a couple weeks time, they end up having the budget and the revenue to then actually book a high ticket call, right? So I would still utilize every single unqualified lead, because just because they're not qualified now or they don't purchase now doesn't mean they won't purchase in a week, a month, a year's time, right? That's just literally free cash flow. I mean, you've acquired the lead in the first place, you paid money for it, so you might as well try and maximize them in the near future. So this is the type of funnel that we've seen work extraordinarily well. It builds trust at every stage. Now, if you want to go one step further and completely nail this out of the park, then you're going to have to, unfortunately, have YouTube content. I know you've probably seen a lot of people say post content, post content. This makes a huge, huge difference. And so I would really position your YouTube content between the lead magnet and the call booking form. So essentially, once a lead is qualified and they get their lead magnet, link your YouTube content in that free report or in that free document. Link your YouTube content in the LTO, link your YouTube content in the high level automation sequences. You need to basically expose your prospects to you as much as humanly possible. I mean, they need to see your face every damn day for them to eventually trust you and pay you what you're looking for, which is a 5 to 10K setup fee or retainer, whatever it is. You can't charge high ticket anymore just by using a VSL. Now, obviously, if you've got the budget, the ad spend, and you have the social proof, you absolutely can, of course. But, if you don't have that social proof and that budget, it's going to be very difficult for you to command high ticket prices. If you're spending $30 a day on a VSL campaign, you've got no content, you've got no trust building exercises anywhere, right? So my recommendation is, if your ad spend is $50 to $100 a day, stick with this new funnel. Trust me, it's going to work very, very well for you. You're going to end up getting way better calls. You're going to get, much higher show up rates for the sales calls, and you're not going to get people join those calls and just want the complete lowest price possible. So again, how the new funnel works is ad level, lead magnet with qualifying criteria. If they're qualified, send them straight to the call booking page. If they don't book a call between here, that's fine. You want to nurture them with strategic email sequences. If they're unqualified, you still allow them to download the lead magnet, but you don't get them to book a call. You send them to an LTO, a one product, so $27 to $47, and then you then nurture them over time and direct them back to the calendar booking page. And then in between this entire thing, you want to have YouTube content. So post religiously every day, every 2 days, whatever you can, and link them back into your email sequences and high level sequences. And that's how you build strategic trust between your clients, right? And so I hope that makes sense. I hope this new funnel gives you a better perspective. And if you're currently struggling with your VSL or lead magnet funnel, try this funnel. It's going to work tremendously for you. If you want a partner to do all of this for you, and I quite literally mean it, everything, the ads, the creative, the lead magnets, the email sequences, the YouTube content even, we do just that for our customers. We do it done for you. It is a high ticket service. We, of course, will guarantee you qualified calls and paying customers. But if you want to learn more, there's a link in the description. Click it, fill in the short application. If you qualify, let's have a chat. If you don't, no problem. You can just take all my free content and basically just implement it yourself. But let me know if that makes sense, and just comment below if you guys have any questions. Thanks.